Welcome back to the channel, folks. Today we're looking at engine swaps and we're off to Le Mans, the Circuit de la Sarthe, where we're going to take on the World Touring Car 700. It's one of the favourites. It's a grinder. It's one you're going to return to every now and then to earn some credits, and it's around about 700 pp. We're using racing hard tyres. With that, we're going to dig straight into the setup. This car's an absolute gem. It drives really well. Engine swap wise, it's the GTR 15 bang straight into a Nissan Silvia, the S15 Aero touring car. Settings will be racing tyres, hard as we said. Suspension standard, it's the fully customizable. Then the rear diff is fully customizable, but they're standard in this car. Downforce on the rear pushed up to 477, front at 200. We've kind of skipped on a bit with the visuals, but there's no change on the power rating, and it's default stuff for the rest of the car. You can see them there on the screen. If you freeze it and pause it, you'll be able to see what's there, and you can match it. You saw this car yesterday. As I said, it's an absolute gem. This race is really good, really fun. It's one of those that if you can work out the rain, you can make headway, and you'll win it every time, and you'll grind it a lot. But here's the skin for today. It's produced by GTP Addictions. JB, thank you, mate. I really enjoy this skin. If I was going to have a team skin for every car, it would be this one. This one really suits this car, and I think the basic scheme suits me. It's my colours. Red, white and black works very well for the name and for the car. And with that, folks, that's the overall view, and we're off to the track. So as we cross the line, folks, we need to change that fuel to 6. Make sure we try and change gear in time before we go across the line. And the reason we're going to fuel map 6 is because this car's really quite thirsty. See if we can challenge that Ferrari into this corner. We sent him a bit wide, now we'll undercut him. Could have done better in second gear, but there we go. Right, so we've got enough fuel to run laps, 2 lap stints. We're going to run 3 stops. Lap 2, lap 4, lap 6, and lap 6 will be a 1 lap stop. I can never get this section of the track smooth on the first lap. Something I need to get better at. But this is the only flying lap, the only lap where you get an unhindered time. But those boys are bumping each other. But this lap doesn't count towards the fastest lap of the race, so you unfortunately won't win fastest lap of the race unless you get the opportunity to do a clean lap. Don't know which one that will be. So we're coming down here looking for a baking book, but we're kind of blocked out. See if we can dive in around the outside. No, car turned in itself. They seem much quicker in this race. So what we're attempting to do here with the engine swap is to give you the opportunity to beat this race with a car that allows you to do it, for A, to achieve the gold, or to assist you with the grind, so that you're just not quite so bored. For those people that don't know what the grind is running the same race over and over again in a fairly easy to win manner that allows you to just earn the credits. This race, with a clean race bonus, will win you something in the region of 825,000 credits, 850,000 credits. Can't remember off the top of the head while I'm driving, but we'll see that at the end. You can do it twice in an hour, and in that hour you'll run 1,700 or so credits. In 2 hours you'll win 3,400,000. In 4 hours you'll win best part of 6,800,000. In 8 hours you'll win 12 million. If you double shift it, you'll win 24 million odd. So there's the economy of the game. With that 24 million, you can buy at least one of the cars that will take you to the legendary trophy, which will help you to the end of the game towards winning that platinum, which I haven't managed to do yet because I've been doing lots of videos for people. But there we go, that's what I enjoy. So as we come round to this back end of the process, we've got the rain radar on. We know on fuel 6 that we're going to be alright for fuel. Let's just talk about fuel strategy. We're doing 3 stops, we're running 2 laps each time. The reason we're not going to increase the fuel so that we run faster laps is purely because I'm going to hold that fuel for extra weight, because I want the extra weight to hold the car down, and also because we're going to short fuel in the last one. In the last pit stop, we're only going to take enough fuel to last that 1 lap, and we're going to race to the finish line on the premise that we haven't messed up, because I'm making a habit of messing this race up. I've run it so many times, I've run it with so many different cars. When you're halfway through a lap and committed, you can't remember what your strategies are, and I often drive past the pits. So I'm saying things to myself like 1 lap to go, and I'll do that next time round and think, oh, holy hell, I've not pitted again. But here we go. So we're up to 7th. We're waiting for rain. We know it's going to rain. The question is, how much is it going to rain? Is it going to rain while we're in the pits? Do we need to change tyres this time? We don't need to change tyres if it's not raining. We know that. We can actually run almost a set of wets all race. Almost. I've done it before. I've pitted on the first time assuming that I can just pit with wets and take whatever happens. It's not actually the case, folks. It doesn't actually work that way, because the AI won't pit if it's not raining, and they're not burning fuel. We're burning fuel, so we have to actually run a type of strategy that forces us to make tyre changes whether we're pit stopping or not. What you do know is you are pit stopping and you have to change tyres, or you don't have to, it's one of the two, but you're committed to 2 laps on that set of tyres. Here we go, we're into 5th, just overrun that corner a wee bit, but we'll get that back. It's quite generous here with the fuel. No, quite generous here, not with the fuel, with the penalty lines. My word, it's not generous with the fuel at all. No rain on the rain radar. We're currently in 5th. We're hoping to be in roughly 1st place by the time we make this pit, and the race does play out quite varied here. In the past I've said yes it does, and it doesn't actually vary that much. This one, very varied, but you know it's going to rain, but you don't know whether it's going to actually force you to change tyres. Have we got rain appearing top left hand corner? Is that what I can see? I don't think we have. I think that's my mind playing tricks on me. I'm going to go to the outside here. Really quite fast around that corner. There it is, top left corner, it's coming. Now, how much rain is coming? That's the question. We've got to watch for the coloured spots in the rain. We've got to see how thick the band of rain is. I do like this bit of the race where it forces you to make a choice. There are dots of heavy rain in there. There's some big chunks of heavy rain as well. So I'm already decided we're taking wets when we go in. We're definitely taking wets. Oh yes, we are. Now I know already the comments I'm going to get as we post this race video. They're going to be, it rained in your video, but it didn't rain in mine. You told me to take tyres. I'm giving you enough warning, folks. It's very varied. Look, there's even green spots in that rain cloud. It's going to bang it down this time, folks, but it could be dry. I don't know. I can't be. I'm not in control of the rain. I'm no Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. I don't know what is going to happen. It could be anything. But what I am going to do is I'm going to pit this time and not miss it. For those who watched yesterday's video, you know exactly what happened. I'm going in this time and I'm taking wets. I'm probably going a bit fast. Oh, we're in there quickly. There, look at that. That was actually hitting in extreme. Just have a slurp. Now I'm looking at my mileage. I reckon I'm not far off needing oil, you know, an oil change. We'll have to do that after this race. But here we go. We're going to take all the fuel. I'm the only car that's gone in the pits. Nobody else has pitted. And the rain is starting. There's the rain. We're pitting for wets. Nobody else has. This is going to work out to our advantage. We're going to run the next 2 laps on wets. We're going to take all the fuel. We're going to go all the way to the end. We're not going to short fill. Nobody has pitted except for us. Watch that rain gauge. It's almost already that intermediates are the tyre of choice, and we're on full wets, so I don't mind that. We're in 17th place, so we've got a long way to go, but I've got a funny feeling a lot of the cars will be in the gravel trap at the end of the long straight, because if it's been raining down there, ooh, they're not going to stop, and there's no end to this rain in sight yet. Oh yes, it's belting down. It's absolutely belting down. Braking. Now, do you feel like we fell too far back to be able to make it up? Do we think that it's not rained enough? Because I don't think it's actually raining that heavy, look. Once that initial rain passed, it's only just so the inters are actually the top choice of tyre. It's not actually got that wet, folks. We could be in trouble. This is the great thing about this race. It keeps you thinking all the way. Makes you... Oh, look at that overshoot. Carried too much speed into that corner. Tyres are just showing a bit of wear. 31 seconds behind the leader, but we have pitted. And they will pit on lap 3. Some will. Some will go to lap 4. To brake just a fraction early here. Don't stray out too far to the left, you'll get a penalty for exceeding track boundaries. Right, so 16th place. The edge of the rain is just appearing on the left hand side of the screen now, and it hasn't actually rained that hard. We could have got away with inters by the looks of it. Look, they're sliding though, they're actually sliding about, so they're not on the best choice of tyre. Oh, and I've slid right through. Oh, that was shocking. One car suffered greatly there, didn't it? The BRZ's got me. That rain cloud isn't going away. The heavy stuff's coming back, you know. They might be comfortable on their tyres now, but I think we're going to get the heavy stuff again. Going to brake early for this one. Make sure we enter this corner with some decent speed. Changed. Oh, I didn't expect to hit that wall then. She slid on. The leaders have gone in the pits. There's some heavy rain coming. What do you think they're going to do? The BRZ's just come up me inside and nerfed me out the way. He was a bit unfriendly, wasn't he? Going to the pit. Oh, I've strayed far too far to the left. I'm now going to block him. He's going to block me. Oh dear, that's shocking. I might get a penalty there. We'll see what happens. Yeah, 1 second track penalty. That's a shocker. But the rain's coming down now. The rain's about to hit. Haywood's carried on, so he hasn't pitted. Whee! The rain is really starting to have an effect. I'm just being a bit casual, I think. Here's the heavy stuff. We're on the right tyres for this. I just saw somebody pop hards on then. They're going to be in trouble. So we're back up to second with everybody else going to the pit. And we've got to think about pitting at the end of this lap. We're only 5 seconds ahead, 4.7 seconds ahead of Portilla, but we're starting to get into the thick cloud. We could have probably gone that second stint on slicks, maybe. I don't think so. Now I'm looking at it. The rain still hasn't increased greatly, has it? We're catching on Haywood. Rain's coming again, bit of a pump. And there looks like the end of the cloud on the top left-hand corner again, so it's continuing to come from that direction. We're at half fuel, but we've got 3/4 of a lap to go. We're going to do another full 2-lap stints here. We're with Mr. Haywood now, and we're going to just sneak past him on the inside. He left the gap because he is on slicks. This is where we start to make some hay. If you know the phrase, make hay while the sun shines, well, it doesn't kind of work, does it? However, let's keep going. There you go, the rain is coming up on the stint meter. Bottom left hand screen, for those of you that aren't 100% sure what I'm talking about, there's a little blue gauge next to what looks like a tyre indicator next to the clock, and the other side of the gauge is the wear markers on the tyres and the damage indicator on the car. So that, oh, now we've got the problem. What do we do at the end of this stint? Do we change to inters and run with inters, or do we keep on the wets? I think we'll save the time and we'll stay on this set of wets. Lucky I changed down to first there and changed it back quite quickly. It's very wet on this part of the track. I think we'll just stop for fuel and we'll keep the tyres. I know it's dry, but this water is going to stay where it is, and we're going to drop back in the field a wee bit because these boys only stopped last lap. We're some 13 seconds ahead, but they're all on slicks. I think it's too bad for inters. If we stay on the slicks, if we stay on the wets that we're on, we'll just be fine. We are quite slow round here, but we've got to stop the tyres. Don't forget to stop. Don't forget to stop. We're not gonna we're not gonna change tyres, we're just gonna take fuel. I'm confusing myself. Talking too much. Concentrate. We're came in there a bit quick last time. This is better. So keep the tyres, don't change, take fuel only. Ooh, 30% of fuel, so we actually used 5% less that time round. Oh, 22-second lead, 23. Because they are struggling with the wet in that bottom left-hand corner of the track. Mr. Hayward's in on hards. So it was him they were measuring time off. McEwen's in. They didn't change. They stayed on their hard tyres, so we're gaining massively here. Out again on the wets. We stayed out in first. Portilla and Healy are coming through. It's quite greasy, but we've got a good load of fuel in to keep away over the back wheels. I don't know if the fuel is modelled in this race. I don't know whether it is. Just take it nice and steady. We've got an 11-second lead. There's no rain on the radar now. Don't take your tyre off that rumble strip, we're good. So now we're just on a drying track on wet tyres. In 2 laps time we know we can change to inters if we need to. If there's no rain on the radar, looking at the last lap. And how much rain can fall on the last lap? Not enough to make you need wets. Potentially we could have changed to inters this time, because we know the rain is at its worst. Is that rain coming back? It hasn't quite gone away, has it? It's actually coming back, that rain. It is. Holy Chipotle. Just going to brake just a smidgen earlier. No, I'm not. I've missed it. I've missed the braking point. There was me looking at the rain radar. I can't quite believe that rain exited that corner, then came back from that corner. But we're alright, we've got plenty of lead. We're not stopping at the end of this lap. We're going to carry on. Now the good thing about this race is it's 30 minutes. Absolutely flies past. Because we've only got 9 minutes to go. We've done 20 minutes already, believe it or not. We've done 21 minutes. Now I'm just looking at my first lap of 4:11.650. I have done a 4:10, and I'm aware of one of our subscribers does a 4:09. But as I say, that won't get you fastest lap of the race. But as your opening fastest lap, that's pretty impressive, a 4:09. But as I said when I went round those first couple of bends, I can never get those first couple of bends right. It's all about rhythm and timing. Here's the wet part of the circuit. Bottom left hand corner is drying out nicely. Oh, we've not got a massive amount of rain, look. We're just going to get quite a heavy downpour, and then it's going to clear up. But is that all it's going to do this race? Here's the rain, it's coming heavy now. I'm just going to brake early. Take this bend with caution. Inters and slicks would actually be fine with this current level of rain. We've got a 27-second lead over the cars behind. We've got one more lap to run before the final pit stop. And it looks like we might get a freebie pit stop if we put the hammer down enough. You can really attack these curves, folks. Don't be frightened of these curves. Really, really attack them. Half them. Put the curve down the centre of the car and go for it. 28-second lead as we enter lap 6. No more rain on the radar. That rain's going away. Just going to brake into this corner so we don't overrun. We know it's wet. Just got to put your beans in here. So let's take stock of where we are. Sorry, I went silent there, but I was concentrating, aiming to get through that combo of corners, which I find the most difficult. It's around about 42 to 44 seconds for a pit stop in this race. And looking at that, we've got 33 seconds advantage at the moment. I think most of the field will stop for tyres and fuel, but we're going eloquently fast enough to be able to just keep gapping them, keep putting time on them. I think Mr. Hayward is the one we need to watch out for. He could be the one that can run that last lap without the stop. He's run a 4 and then he could run this 4 and 4 without worrying about pitting for the 7th lap. However, he has been pretty slow, and he's still in 7th place, so he's doing alright. We just actually ran that corner a bit slow because we were worried about missing the apex, which I didn't do. I was just horrendously slow and probably should have missed the apex. There we go, bottom corner. Track is just starting to look really quite greasy. It's drying out at the edges. Bit of slip on the back wheels, but we've got enough downforce from that rear wing, the way it's lined up, to actually get through this. Wets are looking like they're half done on the back. Let's just think about the pit stop we've got coming up. We're going to take 1 and a bit laps of fuel just to make sure we're good, and then I think we're going to put inters on because there's nothing on the rain radar. Just braked early for that corner, brake where the actual track colour changes. Oh, the car's a bit loose. Slide round that corner, there we go. 3:46 left, so we're not fast enough to do away with the 6th lap, that's for sure. We aren't beating them by that much. We've probably got 4 seconds on them, probably. If somebody comes through without pitting, they'll probably take the lead by 4 to 6 seconds. Just depends how far back Mr. Hayward is. So here we go, into the pits. We don't have to change tyres. I don't think I will. I think I'm going to save the time. Stay on the wets because it's looking quite wet in pit road. We're not going to change, and then we're just going to take 1.3 laps of fuel. Biggest thing we find here is the longest wait is the drive down the pits. I've never really found it to be unfair on this track, the amount of time it takes to pit. It always seems pretty relevant if you're running I don't know, 50k's, 60k's down the pit lane, and you're down the other end. Here we go, 1.3, that's us, and we're away. Mr. Portilla came in, so if they pitted as well, we're good. Everybody's pitting by the looks of it, so we're away. Some people on intermediates, some people not on anything other than the old dry tyres. Mr. Taipei there, he is on 2% of fuel, he cut that fine. Mr. Hayward didn't pit, look, he was the one I was worried about. He's actually done this race as a one-stopper. Which is quite impressive. So we've almost restored our 20-second lead. Well, we were 38, weren't we? It's down now to 27, so we lost 11 seconds, but that's because Hayward didn't pit. Second to end flag, there we go, that one. Just pulse the brake in to stop it sliding. So as we go around this last lap, let's just give a review of this car. For the engine swap, it drinks a lot of fuel. It actually handles really, really well. Because we've overbalanced the weight on the back of the car with a massive wing and the downforce, the front tends to not want to bite into the corner. So you've got to find that you're often heavily braking into the corner to make the car turn. It will try and go straight on like here, if you see what I mean. It carries too much speed. So if you really wanted to, you could dial in a bit more front end grip and probably add some wear to the front tyres. You could probably put the brake balance to the forward to 6 and get away with that if you really wanted the front tyres to take some even hit. Maybe that's what we could do. I don't think we need it. One of the comments in from one of our subscribers was that this car is so OP. Even on yesterday's, by OP we mean overpowered, even on yesterday's race you can see how well it performed. Even though I did make a horrendous blooper, but didn't make that chance today. However, I aimed for a perfect race just to demonstrate how it's done. We got into a fight with the air. I could have backed off and let him go, but ultimately they're always going to win, and I should have known better, but I got 1 second penalty for it. But I think I made more time than that going through the chicane, straight lining it a bit. But here you go. Overall, we've got an overpowered car. We've got a 31-second lead. We're halfway round the 7th lap. Time's gone, so the race is done. All we have to do now is crash, but what's the worst that can happen? Don't say that. However, brake nice and early, give us a chance to make this corner. Track's still a little bit greasy. The rear tyres are really showing the wear, but they'll be good, they'll get us to the end. And please excuse me folks, I'm a little bit full of cold. We've had some tremendously cold weather for here in the UK, but it's over now, it's warmer. I say warmer, it's barely just above freezing, but we're doing alright. There we go, the last couple of corners folks. Thank you very much for taking part in viewing, etc, etc. It's really appreciated that you do watch and you do click like and subscribe and comment, and as always I really appreciate what you do. Thank you very much folks.